Dreamers Welcome Podcast.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. We back in the Dreamers Den. I go by CEO PESO. Blessed or highly favored. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Season 2, 100 episodes up. I'm feeling great. I feel blessed. I'm at it. Got one of my big homies, strong individual, limitless creator, hustler. I don't know, but I can go forever, man. Introduce yourself, please.
Man, it's Demarco275.
The legend.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in here with my brother, PESO.
In
You
this
feel me?
bitch, man.
I appreciate you having me on here, bro.
Man, it was in due time, man.
Yeah,
It was
for
in
sure.
due time.
For
Man,
sure.
first off, man, how you feeling? How's everything? How's the fam?
Everything good, family blessed, business is flourishing. Been blessed to be able to do this trucking thing, and I'm back in my bag with the music. So singles coming, another album on the way. So I'm back at it.
Yeah, we about to get to all that, man. But yeah, I appreciate you on the platform. Like I said, I just be trying to bring some notoriety to artists that we got here, or just creators that we got here.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, shit changing, so I need to make sure that motherfuckers get a reminder of where this shit came from.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So the
Facts.
audience can know, like, all right, like it's a diversity of people that I got on here because we've been doing this shit for a minute, man. And we done seen some great blessings through this music shit. You know, man, one of my biggest memories when I first seen you was what magazine was it?
The Source.
Source. Back in the magazine, 275. One of y'all had a yellow polo on or something.
Yeah, facts. Yeah,
Bro, I
yeah.
seen that, and I'm like, man, these niggas is from Dayton, and that
Man.
shit catapulted me to like, all right, bro, like this music shit. I don't know if I'm gonna rap or something, but the notoriety of like these niggas is in the same magazine as all these other artists. Always gotta go up, man. So that was how was that feeling though, man? Like when y'all got that at that time, man.
It was surreal because from where we from, as you know, in the city at that time, we had a couple people before us that got some things going on TV, radio, whatever. But to be able to be constantly on BT, to be actually in the Source magazine or the Right On magazine or the Double XL and see our face in there, it was like we had accomplished where we was getting to what we was trying to accomplish. You feel me? Because most people ain't never gonna be able to do that. So that was like a dream, to be honest with you. It's like almost like this shit ain't even real. You know what I'm saying? So
Especially the BET factor though, like, because at that time frame, it was just like you had to sit and tune in and anticipate, like, yo, our shit gonna be playing on that.
Man.
So, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. That's a weird question to ask, but did it feel like y'all was on at that time? Like,
oh yeah.
like this shit, like,
Yeah, we was. I mean,
but yeah, no disrespect though.
None taken. So we really in rooms and situations with the Jeezys and the T.I.s and the Gucci's and all the people that Young Buck at the time, who was really hot at that time. All the guys that in that time
Early
frame,
Game.
you know what I'm saying? First album Game. That was really jumping. We was right there with them, moving with them. So my worst regret is that as an artist, if you really a dope artist and you really trying to be a GOAT at what you doing, ain't nobody better than you. So even though, I was a fan of a Jadakiss or Styles P or whoever, when we was around them and could have got pictures and autographs and all of this, I'm like, yeah, I respect you, but I'm going to get on here and I'm going to get busy too. You feel me?
Yeah.
So a lot of pictures and moments that we could have had, I passed up on because of ego. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I look back like, damn.
I feel like a tad bit of that is necessary, but at the same time, it's like I'm gonna do it in smooth. Like, yo, let's take a flick.
Yeah, right. Word.
But nah, you gotta have. I get it though. Like when you're around powers like that, bro, you gotta have some type of like, ambitious ego. Like, I'm in the same room as you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I'm here for a reason too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how we always felt. So
Man, when the music even hit for you? Like you first was like, all right, I'm about to get into music. At what age? What was that? What was that feeling like, or how did you get into the music?
Man, so really I was an athlete, so it was football for me, basketball, but really football primarily. I was an artist, was drawing, did like cartoons and all of that. So I went to college and that was my major, was art, right? So writing was kind of like something I did on my own secretly young. I would hear the artists Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Nas, all of them, and be writing to them, right? Writing the big tracks and stuff. But then one summer I came back from college, met with my bro Snipes. You know, me and him, we knew each other since we was 9, so we've been best friends our whole life, literally. So one day he like, man, I'll be rapping, man. I want you to hear something real quick. He brought his paper out, start spinning. I'm like, man, this nigga cold. Yeah. But he ain't know I had been writing too, right? So I'm like, bro, I got something for you. So I ain't had a paper with me. I'm like, I'm gonna be back. I go, but he was on Prescott. I go to the crib, get my shit, come back. Check this out. He like, bruh. Now we ain't know each other wrote all this time. You feel me? We come together, we like, damn, we cold as fuck. So we get together, get a karaoke machine. And this back when it was the tape cassettes, of course, and they had just the one side be the single of a single to be the beat, the song, then the other side be just the beat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Instrumental.
The instrumental.
Man, we get on the instrumental, start killing them, right?
But y'all recording it over the karaoke.
We recording over the karaoke. Throwback, you feel me?
Yeah.
So they have a Tall Entertainment at the time. They had this audition for new artists at Hip Hop Culture. Okay. So we seen the signs. We was always going to Hip Hop Culture, getting fresh and all of that. So we see the sign on there like, damn, they have an audition. So me and bro got them tapes that we made. And everybody else was going to FJM Studios, which is Mo's studio down on Dryden Road at the time. It was called FJM.
Yeah.
In Moraine. R.I.P. to my brother.
R.I.P. Mo.
Yep. We go in there, they doing auditions. It's like 100 artists in there. A lot of the artists that ended up being popular in the city, having they run was, was some of them 100. Me and Dude was the only ones they chose, and we didn't even rap in the studio, in the booth.
We gave the tape. Yeah.
They listened to the tape. They said, damn, these niggas. Because at the time, this the late 90s, so in Dayton, it was mostly like a Midwest, West Coast type of sound. So to hear some artists that had like an East Coast flow and put the words together, we did, it blew them away.
Right.
So from that point on, they was like, hey, we want to sign y'all. They was up, so we had no problem on a machine behind us. And then I was like, all right, I'm about to be a rapper now.
Period. And then that tape down there was what, for fun? When y'all
it was
did it?
Yeah, it was for fun. Because when we did it, it was just off some, oh, you can rap, I can rap, boom. But when that opportunity came, we took it down there. They was like, oh, no, y'all got it. The look there, y'all niggas was fresh. We was getting money. I was actually still in college. So the only thing was, I told them before we dropped that first album, I was a junior. I had one more year of school left. Yeah. So I was like, let me go ahead, get through, get my degree. Then I'm going to come back and we're going to get busy. So I graduated. The album came out the next year.
Shouts out to them letting you do that. You can't just drop out on that.
That's major.
Man, so as far as like the transition from, not playing around, but hobby like, and that tape that was a fun tape to do. Yeah. Kind of took y'all there. So how was that transition from when it was like, all right, we just doing this in the living room type to like, okay, now it's a machine behind us and shit is picking up. Like, was they still doing artist development, or was it ain't on you, it's in you with y'all? Like how was that transition?
Damn, that's a good question. I think it really, for me, and I think this all artists, we always start off sounding like another artist that we was emulating at the time. So at that time, I came up on some Nas, AZ, Nature, all of them, the Fern, Foxy Brown shit, all of that. So that's how I sounded. I sounded like damn near I was from Queens. You feel me? Right. So in the process of us putting together that first compilation, I started implementing Dayton, but with that flow. You feel me? So as we was going, we damn near developed ourselves into the artists we became, mixing the city with that kind of flow and coming up with what we was. So It was really a process just as we was making music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So as far as hip hop artists go back in the city when that was happening, was the hip hop scene that big in Dayton like then, like how it is now?
No, and that's the thing now, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like here in Dayton, if a person doesn't know me as a rap artist here, I would never even mention to him, and I'm cool with that. Because now literally 8 out of every 10 niggas is a rapper. Back then, it was literally like maybe 2 or 3 crews, period, in the city that did rap music. Everybody else was a fan, or they was putting money into you, or they was rocking with you, part of the entourage. But it wasn't a big circle. That didn't really come to like 03, 04, where everybody just started rapping.
When niggas started getting home studios easier.
Facts. That's when it started.
That's what it was. Because only two I remember hip hop wise back then was I remember y'all, and I remember DVH.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I think I don't know, my brother and my cousin,
Yeah, for sure. They was rocking.
Playing one song. I'm like, who the
Yeah.
It was just so weird hearing Dayton being repped on wax, like on a CD and shit. Because back then that shit was like foreign.
It was foreign. I mean,
y'all got a what? Y'all got a mixtape? Y'all got a song?
Oh yeah, it wasn't that much. It was Hog and them. It was us. It was Akil and them, HOC, the Tykes and all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a couple crews, but it wasn't like how it is now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so. I feel like that. Man, that's probably way better back then. I mean, shouts out to everybody chasing their dream now, but yeah, man, less competition and just more talent
and shows. Let me tell you, and people don't even believe this. This is a real thing. Like back in them days, we had people that was there that can vouch. We was putting 500, 600, 700 people in venues to see us, not no main national artists. We was at a spot called the Place, Puddins back in the days. We had 400-500 people in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Literally packed up against the glass, the mirrors and shit. I'm talking about because it wasn't that many artists.
Right.
And when we had the wave of that first album, motherfuckers was fucking with us. They with that Tall Life, man, they really fucked with that Tall Life album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's definitely a staple. And then you I'm assuming Mo was the one that recorded it too and everything.
Absolutely.
So Mo was so connected. Like that that conglomerate y'all had back then, man, like even with Skano, like it just was just so
it's crazy
euphoric of like what I remember and Mo telling me stories like man you missed that? I'm like I miss it. I ain't been there, but nah.
You would have loved it though, bro. Like, and I tell people all the time, like that's my connection with Mo is just on another level because from the time that I started recording with him to the time he passed, I can pretty much guarantee ain't nobody recorded on this planet with him as much as I have from start to finish. You feel me?
Yeah.
So the connection, he knew my voice. He knew exactly how I wanted to sound, like better than anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was amazing.
So when y'all was like, you know, with the machine behind y'all and y'all doing these shows, and then like 0304 come, now more artists is, you know, popping up in the city though. Mm-hmm. So even though y'all was already like dispersed out there to the masses though, did it feel like competition when y'all start seeing like more and more, like, well, was y'all worried about it when more and more people was popping up in the city?
Because you got to think when we started, like I said, it wasn't a lot of artists. So our only competition was the niggas that was actually signed in the game we seen on TV. So even as of today, it was never a point where I actually looked at somebody else in Dayton, Ohio as competition to get to where I was getting, because one thing I knew was that you ain't about to get a record deal off of just selling records in Dayton, Ohio. Right. You got to go to different cities, get your buzz going, whatever. And from a skill set standpoint, of course, I felt like I was the best nigga. He felt like he was the best nigga.
As you should, yeah.
As my partner. So we never even looked at it like that. Everybody that came after us, we grabbed them like this. And any nigga vouch for that. Every single nigga. Literally, I tell people all this time. Any nigga that had a wave in Dayton, Ohio, major wave, any nigga you name, that's the homie. And I grab them like this. One of the first niggas to jump on their joint. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it was never a competition thing for me.
Putting niggas on at that point.
Facts.
I mean, with your stepping stone to what you had though, and that was gonna be my next question though. I mean, what you answered was just like still coming back and, you know, kind of like not the hometown hero, but like how you said, like, all right, I'm gonna hop on your joint. I'm gonna hop on your joint.
Facts.
And it's all love though.
Facts.
Nah, that's solid.
That's how it's supposed to be. I think that's one of the issues, unfortunately, we had is that it became so many artists that niggas started looking at each other like competition, and that's when it got kind of ugly. But it's so much more world out here than the city.
For sure.
You feel me?
For sure. Please go explore, y'all.
Man.
What y'all worried about from top of Gettysburg to James H? No.
Man.
What's how can I ask that? Like, what's the biggest flaw right now to you that the city has of like just our way of like catapulting the city to, you know, we got great people here, but it's like we can't get to the masses. It's like Detroit, Kentucky, Chicago, everybody around us is getting to it but us. So what do you think that?
Because I think what's happening in all these other cities is everybody's getting behind one artist and really supporting one artist in these other cities. And once that first artist comes through the door, then everybody else follow. But there's so many artists in the city in Dayton, nobody wants to get behind that one artist because they feel like they getting sunned or, you know what I mean? Or
shit, everybody raps so much now. Who is a fan?
Bingo. That, to be honest, you just said it right there too. Yeah. It ain't enough. If you got a club, if half the club is rappers, they not gonna cheer for you when you get up there for real, because they looking at you like competition.
Exactly.
You feel me? So that's the number one reason. In Detroit, what I feel like, all them niggas is collabing. They really getting together. I mean, you got a couple beefs and all of that like any other city, but for the most part, niggas is jumping on each other's joints. The females too. It's heavy females up there that's going crazy, and that they supportive of each other. I haven't really never felt that in Dayton since like maybe 05, 07 in them years. You know what I'm saying?
Man, because back then, to me, like, that's when we had conglomerates and cliques.
Oh, yeah.
You know, mine was Trendset.
For sure.
D-Cut, DBM.
Absolutely. Still jumping.
Still jump, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then, now it's just an acronym in the front and, you know, some shit like that. But yeah.
Facts.
So you took a break from music for a minute?
Yeah. When I moved to Atlanta in 2013, I took a break because I just really, the street shit was getting heavy. It was just a lot going on, and I had to just get away, because that's another thing in Dayton. It's almost like, it's crazy, but in order to be stamped as that nigga on the rap side, you gotta have that shit going on the other side.
For sure.
And that's another thing that don't make sense. It shouldn't be like that.
Right.
But every nigga, it's like that's there. So I just wanted to get a clean slate, move away from that, get my life together, start some shit over. And once I got comfortable down there in Atlanta, then I started getting my little, swagger back to get back in the booth.
So like, because obviously Atlanta, you hit that energy as soon as you get in the midst of,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean, getting 20 minutes from downtown exit.
Facts.
So you can say that Atlanta was definitely like somewhat of a big help that got you back influenced to getting into the music.
For sure. And too, I'm an extremely competitive nigga. I came up on some competitive shit with this rap shit. So although, for instance, I didn't look as artists from Dayton as competition, I looked at the majors as competition. And I knew that all the majors was going to come to Atlanta. And Atlanta had the hottest, and has for the last damn near 20 years, hottest artists. So if I can come here and I can shine with these dudes, then now I know for sure everything I've been thinking is official. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
Man, that's one thing I do appreciate about Atlanta. I'll be honest. I don't like Atlanta as much, but I love the business down there. Like, I love when I was just down there, like, it just was, homie see me with a camera. Hey man, what you shoot? Let me get
Facts.
The embracer there, and it just was. I don't know, man. The A definitely is just it's so fast paced. I love it. Like,
oh yeah,
it's a lot going on, man. So so we shot our visuals. I want to ask you about the Sriracha remix with Timo.
Oh, major.
Man. So how did that collaboration even come about? And how did it feel to have a legend like that on one of your records?
Man, so it came about, shout out to Big North, his connection with some guys down there in the A that pretty much been locked in with the Dungeon family for years, put it together, made a phone call. The track is actually North's son Jose's beat, the Sriracha. He asked me to do something to it. I was like, shit, say less, ripped it. But being on the song with a guy like that, for me, it kind of levels out my career, because I've had a song with him from the Dungeon family. I've had a song with Styles P, Bad Boy, Rough Riders, you feel me, Legendary. I had a song with Scarface, Ghetto Boys, like the king of this South shit for real from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like being able to be on songs with guys like that, EPMD, like, it's crazy. So that was really, that's like the icing on the cake.
You got a nice little,
you feel me? This
your
Dungeon
Rolodex
family
is nice for what you just named, though.
Yeah, so, that's like, you talking about legend, like unarguable, like undebatable legendary artist. You feel me?
Yeah.
So being able to be at his crib, we go at his crib.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
That's crazy.
Because we had went downstairs to the basement to finish the video, and he had his Goody Mob plaques. He had the Quimini Platinum plaque. I was just like,
That's
damn,
a hell
bro.
of a
Like,
flex, you
yeah,
feel
I'm
me?
like, damn, bro. Like, it's a real live legend. Like, just looking at the shit and listening to it, it just was like, fuck, bro. Like,
Yeah,
Timo.
it was major. So when I got them bars for that, it was like, oh yeah, I got to snap on this shit. You know, and he came out the booth like, bruh. When I came out the booth, it's like, bruh. So when you getting that from a nigga like that, you feel me?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a stamp.
That's that's definitely like my top 10 videos I shot.
Man, that shit was so
That
hard.
was crazy.
Oh my god, that shit was so hard.
I got some good ones, but that one's just, we had the women, like the editing. Oh man, y'all go check that out.
Check that shit
man.
out.
Sriracha
Sriracha.
remix,
Absolutely,
man.
absolutely.
And speaking of bars, I wanted to touch real quick on the bars and beyond.
Oh, for sure.
So, just explain what that is and the state of it right now. I know there's some back end y'all working on. Or
yeah. So basically, in the process when I went to Atlanta and kind of getting my business stock, because I always had like a mind to be an entrepreneur and a businessman or whatever. So this was my opportunity to do it down there because, like you said, the business, they supportive. You the platform is there. So me and Mo had talked, and I told him about like wanting to do like a blog thing, an internet blog thing. He was like, yeah, that's cool. Or you could do something like a TV show. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about that before he passed also. So I put together Bars and Beyond, went and got my co-host Courtney, who's just absolutely cold with it.
Shouts
from the
out to Courtney. Yep.
Media standpoint. And we put together Bars and Beyond, a mixture of basically Rap City and 106 and Park. Bringing new artists, old school artists, entertainers, actors, whatever, and interviewing them. So we've been doing it. This is year 7. We've been on hiatus for about damn near a year now, for real. But we're in the process of getting the set back up in the next couple months or so and get back to it.
Shouts out to Sylvester too, because when y'all
told
he told me how he did that set, fucking phenomenal. I'm like, bro, this nigga is a genius with that. Like
cold.
To take the time to do that,
man.
He tight, bro.
That shit crazy.
Let's talk about the other hustle too, man. The trucking.
The trucking.
So let's speak on that, man. Just a little more insight on what that is and why it's important just to still have these multiple hustles, even though your passion is just there for the music.
Facts. And that's what it is. I think, we all got to be realistic about like music. We love to do it. I do it more for the love, obviously, at this stage, but it's like going to the NBA damn near, you know what I'm saying? So you got to have something that's solid, an income that's solid. If you a dude to do a 9 to 5, that's cool. If you a hustler, at some point you got to shift the street shit to something that's legit.
Right.
So trucking, obviously, a lot of people do it. We got into it right after COVID because it was open and everybody said, hey, everything shut down, but them trucks still moving because stuff still had to be taken from point A to point B.
Yep.
So we got into it. I tell everybody all the time, it's not a cheap thing to get into. It's one of the most expensive businesses to get into. I probably lost 70 or 80,000 my first year, literally. You feel me? Like lost, you feel me? So it's not cheap, but if you learn to hustle, you stay diligent, you make connections, build your network, the shit turns. So like July of 22, I went from just losing to like it was like a switch.
So you say it didn't fold either.
Yeah, it didn't fold, and then from that point on, it kept building. I was able to acquire a warehouse that you done been to, smack dead pretty much in the heart of Atlanta. And shit been rolling since then, man. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Nah, man, that's one thing. First off, I want to say, man, I love this guy for plenty of reasons. But when I first went to Atlanta, he blessed me with, what was that, an 03 Impala?
Yep.
The 03 Impala.
Yeah.
My man blessed me with it, gave me the keys, and he was like, don't ever let nobody say Demarco ain't a real one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
with nothing attached. To see, this is another thing too, and I gotta say this: a lot of niggas do shit and they be like, oh yeah, so then maybe down the road, whoop de whoop de whoop. Now one time that I mentioned to you, yeah, maybe you could shoot some videos for me, or maybe you could do this,
right? Because
that was really this. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I understood your situation or whatever, and building with you. And like I said earlier about the rap artists, the artists in the city as they came up, I could have looked at them like, damn, you trying to take my spot. I was like, nah, come holler at me. You got a track for me? Boom, I'm gonna get on there with you. Let's promote it together.
Yeah.
I've always been like that.
That's something I'll never forget. And that helped me so much. Even though the air didn't work, I didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Nigga,
that air was funny actually.
Yeah. Man, so before we wrap, man, I asked everybody this: what is a good quote or a piece of advice that you live off of?
Man, I would say the realest thing that I've learned is what you speak will be manifested. Meaning, if you speak it, you talk it, and you live it, that's what it's gonna be. So if you speak, you always fucked up, and your shit fucked up, shit gonna be fucked up. Mm-hmm. If you speak, you're gonna get to a bag and you're gonna be successful. Guess what? You're gonna get a bag and you're gonna be successful. 100% of the time.
You are what you think.
Big facts.
Yep.
Big facts. Yeah.
Man. And shouts out to North too, because I got my blessing today, and he was telling me like yo, bro, you can't think like that. Like the moment you start thinking like that, like you putting doubt on God. I was like, shit, that's a bar.
Bars.
I was like, okay,
bro, hit you with the bars. Yeah. That's real. That's real. You
so yeah, manifest, man. Like what you think is who you are, man. G, I appreciate you
already. Anytime, bro.
More to come.
For sure.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. Y'all keep dreaming. We out.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast.